We interviewed 25 different seniors from 13 different majors to give us useful tips and information about their major. This is what they said. But first, this video was not brought to you by Clue or Everytime, but we thought you should know how to use these two platforms. Now, welcome to Clue. Maybe some of you have already heard about this. Clue is a website where you can post and see reviews of all classes offered by Korea University. I'll show you how to do it. After logging in, Clue will look like this. Now, at the top left corner, click the search icon. You can search for either the course name, the course code, or the professor's name, but remember, Korean search often shows more exact results. For each result, you can see the course name, professor, and semester of that class on the left side. The right side shows the average point of that class on the scale of 5. Let's see this class. First, this shows all the data and statistics about this class. Below are students' reviews. They also rate each class based on learning volume, difficulty level, teaching power, and fulfillment level. You can also write a review for this class if you took it before. Just don't forget to check the semester to make sure this is the exact class. You'll earn 30 points for each review. So what do these points mean? When you first log into Clue, you have 0 points and you can't see any reviews. You have to write your reviews first to get points and then go to Point Shop to buy accession. After purchasing, you can see all ratings and reviews. Now, another way to check for class reviews is on Everytime. You may be familiar with this app. After logging in, click Timetable to manually add your classes. Search for the class you intend to take and you can see reviews here. However, some classes may not have reviews, so Clue is still a better approach.
Firstly, what's your name, what's your major, and what year are you in?
So, hello everyone, my name is Moji. I study mechanical engineer and this is my junior year.
I'm Mia, I'm from Media and Communication.
My name is Songmin Lee from Computer Science and Engineering Department.
Hi, I'm Trina. I'm in Business Administration and I'm a senior.
I'm Sonia. My major is Mechanical Engineering and I'm in my 4th year.
How many required credits in classes did you have?
So overall, you need 130 credits for graduation. And then depending whether you do a double major or you do like advanced major, it differs. For my double major, they keep on changing it, so you have to check on the website because my year was the last one with like, I think 40 something, 45 credits, something like that. But like the required classes changes, so you need to constantly check because every year is different.
There are 9 credits for academic foundations, and I think there are 24 for the major required. And for major electives, if you're like an intensive major, then you have to take 42 electives.
So in our department, so in general, like in Korea University, you need like 130 credits to graduate. And for my department, first of all, you need to take major required classes and then you can take the elective classes. There are some other like side classes. For example, in my major, we need to take physics, we need to take chemistry, we need to take maybe something called like calculus.
How is your major's workload? What's the hardest part about this major and what's the most fun part?
I think the workload is pretty fine, except for courses with literature because I need to read 1 or 2 or even 3 books or novels in one class.
For the engineering, the most difficult obviously was maybe like the foundations because to learn how they work, how to prove them was a little bit more difficult than actually use already an existing formula to just like apply to the concept.
Hardest part? I just realized, like, I found out not too long ago, but like in business, it's normal to have both projects, assignments, and exams. But I found out that that's not the norm in other majors, so I think that's the hard part of our major.
The most fun part is probably the opportunities you can have in business school. There are a lot of quiz, research clubs, and overall business clubs, and people are generally just doing something because we know that business like degree is not itself enough. You better be some sort of active person and have some extracurriculars, and also because people just like doing that. I feel like.
Are there any professors you would recommend to other people?
So, okay, this is the fun part. For media, it's multimedia reporting. Professor Yoonhwa Jin, she was the first Asian reporter in Britain. She worked at Reuters. She was editor-in-chief in Asia Pacific region. She had 7 100 reporters under her in Afghanistan, Singapore, Japan, and many other Asian countries. And she has a lot of experience. She's so cool.
My favorite professor is Park Kyun 교수님. He's now like the dean of School of Media and Communication. He taught like media popular cultural class, and actually for that class I got a chance to go to like an exchange program to China, and that is why it's my favorite course and like also my favorite professor.
And in DIS, I think the most fun class is special topics in finance, international finance. It's really hard class because he's the finance bro, and he doesn't actually like teach like for you like a baby. He just goes hard on you and he writes you the whole semester, but you actually learn a lot of stuff, and it's just really fun, especially for people who are interested in econ and finance.
From poli-sci, anything, absolutely anything this man teaches, take it. His name is Kim Hyun-jun. Anything he teaches, so good.
Isungu, our thermodynamics, he's really good with English. The current professor that I have taken a liking to is actually, Professor Yewon Kim, which she deals with energy policies and sustainable development. She's very inclusive with the way that she teaches. Same with Professor Dongwon Jae with dealing with hydrogen energy. Despite the fact that there's only one foreigner in the class, which is me, they still feel like it's their responsibility to include me, and they want to teach in English. So, shout out to Professor Dongwon Jae, Professor Yewon Kim, and also Professor Isungu.
Like my favorite professor is Peter Macaulay. I've taken like this is my 5th class with him. I like all his classes, and if everyone should take a class from him, even if you are not English major too. He has like general elective class, advanced English reading. I think he's like one of the people that I look up to as a role model in how to teach a class, and then his way of teaching is really nice, and he's lenient but not lenient, and like you will get really well educated from his class, not only in that topic but also in surrounding topics.
What's your favorite class?
My
what are the
favorite
classes you would
class?
recommend?
Medical imaging was my one of my favorites from biomedical engineering, and from 융합전공 노인지과학 it would be the laboratory. The laboratory is super good. It's a neurobiology laboratory 7.
In Korean, it is 기업가 정신과 leadership, and maybe it was entrepreneurship and leadership for English.
The first one I would say would be human-computer interaction. That was the very first class where I got to make a website of my own based on the theme that the professor gave us. Like you learn all the way from the prototype, how to make a prototype of your website using Figma, and also up until how to implement AI for your actual website.
I would say my favorite class has been the finite element analysis, even though it's like the hardest subject I took, but because it's something so new and something so different from what I'm used to with all the all those technical mechanics. Compared to that, we are learning about computational mechanics, so I think that's really interesting and fun.
Professor Lee Dong-won, like financial market institutions, there's 2, one in the spring, one in the fall. They're called very similar, but they're very different. I would recommend taking both of them. I had a lot of fun. And Professor Wang, I think, he teaches a class about China, and another one about, I think, East Asia. It's a lot of history, but you know how people sometimes can make history not sound boring? He does that, so that's why I like him.
What is the hardest class?
The hardest class, I think, biomedical programming is the very hardest one, because you did quiz every day in the class, so they give you a question, you crack the code in the class, so you have to do that.
Hardest class is probably, I would say, cognitive psychology or cognitive neuroscience are probably the hardest psychology classes that I have taken. Cognitive psychology is very difficult. You need to have a good understanding of statistics, of biology, of theory, and also of how fMRI works, which is extremely difficult and I still don't understand it. It's a lot of math and physics, and so I think that if you're interested, especially in the science route of psychology, just beware that you'll definitely be having to learn a lot of biopsychology and a lot of complicated stuff, but it is worth it if you're interested.
My hardest class was machine learning and intelligence, and also I took digital integrated circuits. That was so hard. Yeah.
For me, it was difficult to take what was that? Finance classes, because I didn't know much about it, and you need to know Excel and everything. So I was just not good at it. That's why it was difficult. Statistics was difficult for me, but then eventually I got better. Yeah. If you don't like numbers, operations, accounting, just take required classes and just move to the other ones.
Do you have any class recommendations for more practical skills?
So for practical skills, it's multimedia reporting, because you can learn how to write alerts, news breaks, and reporting itself. I think it's practical for people who are interested in journalism. There's also class 영상 콘텐츠 제작 실습. I don't know the English name, but you learn how to create videos, and you learn like medium shot, close-up shot, and etc. So that's what you can learn how to take films, but there's no class on editing, so you gotta learn that yourself.
Do not neglect your experiment classes. Those skills that you gain within your experiment classes are actually much more beneficial than you think. What you, as a first-year student, might see is that you are in the lab pouring chemicals and trying to collect data. But you are neglecting the fact that you are collecting data, and that collecting data and analyzing that data is a really essential skill within the workplace.
The main skill that you learn probably is doing the research papers. Like if you're planning to do the master's degree afterwards, or PhD, or anything academically related, you will need that, and that's where you can learn to do it. Because pretty much every class requires it, except for Introduction to International Commerce.
Do you know where to look for internships?
Right, there are a lot of actually resources. Like, for example, Korean University sends in a month several emails where they list internships.
I found a lot on the GHC website. So they upload it every week, and they updated the new information as well. And if you click the kind of like the Kakao channel via Kakao Talk, and you can have the notification from GSC as well. They send you the email, they send you everything to Kakao Talk.
They also post something on the KBS website, on Startup Station website, and there are plenty internship on like official sources of companies, for example, Hyundai, Kia, Samsung, K Campus, and LinkedIn also sometimes. Specifically for international students, you better watch out for the positions that are open specifically for international students, not for Korean students, because there's no need for you to go into a Korean position.
Don't feel shy about reaching out to the speakers, because they see that you're interested, and they're like, okay, this person have like initiative, so they could be like, if you ask right away, like, oh, like, are you hiring or something? Some people, I have known people that they have done that. They're like, yeah, actually, do you want to like have an interview for the internship? And they get it.
Is there anything else you think that freshmen should know?
Freshmen should know
About your major?
about the media major. There's like only 3 elevators in the whole building, but there's so many people trying to get up and down, so you should go to class early, or else you're gonna get stuck waiting for the elevators and you're gonna be late.
That's pretty useful.
There's some classes, they are split into 4 different classrooms. So you might find there are 2 English and 2 Korean. So one thing you should consider, a class can be taught in Korean, but the professor is quite good, you know. So I remember there's one class I had English class, but I took a Korean one because I had the professor was good. So you should consider that. Yeah.
For media, just join any club like broadcasting station or filming, or KO on Air, join KO on Air, or photo club, photography. or journalism clubs to actually learn it, because media, like as much as you hear the theory, you're not gonna learn like the practical way. So you gotta practice from like your first, second year.
Specifically major related, it's really easy for you to get your major classes. This is one issue that, yeah, this is one issue that a lot of other departments face. That meeting up in the PC bang, getting the fastest internet, trying to be able to get their classes that they're required to graduate. I don't face that issue.
We have 3 buildings. They're all new. They have very good facilities. We have sofas that you can turn into a mattress. There are built-in lamps and sockets. And yeah, you can use the buildings all the time, like especially during exam season, they open it 24 hours. So you can always access the buildings.
Because we get watching movies as homework.
That's a good reason.
What's the best thing about my major is that this is the current up-and-coming market. It's future oriented. Part of trying to be successful and becoming rich is trying to stay ahead of the market. No offense to computer science majors. Yeah.